everyone. Hope you guys are doing well today. So today we are going to have a look on how to prepare soluble and insoluble salt. Okay. I believe some of you still confused, which method to use when you are preparing for salt. But before we go further on the preparation steps, we need to know first all the solubility rule. Only then you know which method to use to prepare them. The rule number 1 is that you just remember sparse salt are all soluble. What is sparse salt? Sparse salt basically stands for sodium, potassium, and ammonium salt. That's the first thing. Sodium, potassium, and ammonium salt are all soluble. So I usually call this as the sparse salt. SPA, sodium, potassium, and also ammonium. For the salt name, you will have two parts of the name, right? Something like this. As long as the first part of the name is sodium, potassium, or ammonium, we don't care about what will be at the back. It's confirmed soluble. For example, you have like sodium carbonate, potassium chloride. As long as you see the sparse salt, the first part of the name is definitely soluble. Second rule would be all nitrate are soluble. Nitrate basically will be the anion of the salt, so it's gonna be the second part of the salt name. So for this, every time when you see nitrate is at the back, doesn't matter what will be at the front, it definitely soluble also. Rule number 3, CLS. What is CLS? All chloride are soluble except two things. What are the two things? So LS basically stands for lead and silver. So if you have magnesium chloride, it is soluble. And then zinc chloride also soluble. But if you have lead chloride and silver chloride, that one gonna be insoluble. Now let's go to rule number 4. SbCl. What is SbCl? All sulfate are soluble except SbCl, right? So the BCl stand for barium, calcium, and also lead. And next rule, number 5. We are going to talk about carbonate. They are all insoluble except the sparse salt. So you have to refer rule number 1. All carbonate are insoluble except the sparse salt. Sodium, potassium, and ammonium. So the last rule here is about hydroxide. So when you say hydroxide, everything will be insoluble except sparse C. So what does that C stand for? C actually stands for calcium. So all hydroxide are insoluble except sparse C. Sodium, potassium, ammonium, and also calcium. Actually calcium will be considered as partially soluble. After you guys memorize the solubility rule, now we can have a look on how to prepare the soluble and insoluble salt. So for IGCSE, you guys just need to know 4 ways how to prepare the soluble salt. So the first method would be acid plus alkali. So basically for this, The one that you have to know, like what are the reactant we need, what are the product that we are going to get, is there any specific condition or like rule that we have to follow, and then probably the method or technique that we are using here. Why do we need to memorize all these things? Because in the exam, you might need to write the chemical equation. So if you know what are the reactant and product involved, then it would be easy for you to write a balanced chemical equation. Acid plus alkali give us salt and water. Another important question commonly asked also in exam would be, what is the name of this reaction? So, students usually confused. Okay, should I write titration or should I write neutralization? For the reaction name, please write neutralization. But if they ask you what are the technique or method that we use, only then you are going to write titration. It might look the same, but they are not the same. Okay, so you have to look at the keyword in the question, whether they are asking about reaction name or the technique for the acid plus alkali reaction. Now let's have a look for the second way to prepare soluble salt. We have acid plus metal. Acid plus metal give us salt plus hydrogen. So usually when you see you have reaction of something with metal, one of the product would be hydrogen gas. Third one will be acid plus metal carbonate. So acid plus metal carbonate, okay, what you have to do, you just copy the same product. Like the first one, salt plus water with extra thing. Okay. So please remember this sentence carefully. When there is carbonate, there is CO2. Definitely carbon dioxide will be one of the product. Last reaction that we can do to prepare soluble salt will be acid plus insoluble base. Okay, what does it mean by insoluble base here? It can be metal oxide or metal hydroxide. You can refer to the solubility rule that we have learned previously. Hydroxide, everything will be insoluble except the sparsely. Sodium, potassium, ammonium, and calcium partially soluble. In terms of the product that it forms, okay, will be same like number 1. So it is salt plus water. Alkali is a soluble base. Yep. Okay, so basically, these are the 4 ways how you can prepare the soluble salt. Reaction name, we call this as precipitation reaction. The main idea about precipitation reaction here, okay, when you have soluble salt plus soluble salt, give us insoluble salt. Okay, plus soluble salt. What we want is actually this. Soluble salt will be in the aqueous form. So when look at the chemical equation, you guys actually can identify whether it's soluble or not. Okay, so insoluble salt will be in the solid state. Soluble will be aqueous, like this. These are the brief idea on how we actually conduct this precipitation reaction. Very famous question in the exam. They will ask you to briefly describe the steps. Step 1, you just mix 2 soluble salt aqueous solution. Number 2, stir the mixture. Number 3, you need to filter the mixture. When you filter the mixture, you are going to get 2 things. Okay? Let me show you here. Okay. Please make sure you guys know how to draw the setup of this apparatus because they did ask in the paper 6 question previously. So when drawing, make sure you include the label as well. Okay, so imagine I have a conical flask here. And then I have a filter funnel together with a filter paper. Okay, let's say it looks like this. Okay, then I have something inside here. Okay, then I'm going to have something here on the top. Okay, this is when you are doing filtration. Okay, so the aqueous solution that you guys get after the filtration, we call this as a filtrate. And the solid that is left at the top here is called as residue. Of course, in exam also, it's a good practice for you to label this is a filter funnel and this is a filter paper. Conical flask for this. So if you notice in the general equation that I wrote just now, we have insoluble salt and soluble salt. Okay, so insoluble salt will be the residue. And soluble salt will be the filtrate. Okay, since now we are preparing insoluble salt, so we are more interested in the residue. Okay, so what you're going to do, next step, you are going to wash the residue. And remember, in chemistry, always use distilled water in the lab, don't use tap water. Okay. With distilled water. And last step, what you have to do, when you wash something, you need to dry it. Dry between filter papers. If you notice the pattern, aqueous plus aqueous give you solid and aqueous. So soluble plus soluble give us insoluble and soluble. This is precipitation to prepare the insoluble salt. So remember the 5 steps how you want to prepare the insoluble salt. Okay, number 1, okay, you need to mix 2 soluble salt aqueous solution. Okay, second, you need to stir the mixture. Third, filter the mixture. Okay, so we are filtering the mixture means we need filtration. Number 4, of course, you need to wash the residue with distilled water and dry between filter paper. Yep, that's how you solve this question. Number 4. Okay, let's have a look on this. This is basically a soluble salt. We have 4 methods, right? This one we are using acid plus metal carbonate. Acid plus metal carbonate will give us salt and water, of course. And don't forget, okay, when there is carbonate, there is CO2. So one more, you have carbon dioxide. So which method you are using to get a pure copper 2 chloride crystal from the mixture? Because for the copper 2 chloride, okay, it is a soluble salt. Okay, so soluble salt gonna be a filtrate. So you have to filter and then you evaporate the filtrate. Okay, once aqueous solution that produce a precipitate, so this is insoluble salt. Just write the product that you can form first. Then you're gonna get the answer. I'm getting silver carbonate. Remember, just exchange the partner. And sodium nitrate. Let's just write everything first. Only then we check whether it is soluble or insoluble. For this, I'm gonna get silver chloride and sodium nitrate as well. This is gonna be barium chloride plus potassium nitrate. Carbonate definitely insoluble here. That's what we want. Sodium definitely soluble. Silver chloride gonna be insoluble. If you remember CLS, all chloride are soluble except lead and also silver. Okay, then potassium is definitely soluble. Barium chloride is soluble. The one that are not soluble is barium sulfate. So third one is wrong. The answer is A. So I hope you guys learned something new today. If you want to have like more tips on chemistry, okay, don't forget to follow our YouTube channel, and I see you in the next video. Bye.